Tons going on at the Illinois Statehouse this week as lawmakers from both chambers are back in session. A lot of activity in the Illinois House. Of course, they've got bills that are up for third reading, which is final passage in the House before they can go over to the Illinois Senate. So let's just take a look here. And again, I showed you how you can find this by going to the Illinois General Assembly website, ilga.gov. So a lot of you out there are getting more and more interested in what happens with state government. I'll tell you, even me getting paid to cover this, it's a meat grinder, and it's how the sausage is made. And you've got long days and a bunch of hurry up and waiting, and they don't start on time for committees. Sometimes they're an hour and a half late to start on committees, and then, scheduled time is that they're going to be in session at noon, but they don't actually start until 1:45. So yeah, it can be tough for the taxpayer out there to actually keep track of this. But at least I get paid to do it, so I can bring you that information. But if you ever have a few moments of free time and you want to see what they did the day previous, you can go to ilga.gov, and then you click underneath Reports and Inquiries, Legislative Reports. There you will be taken to a page that gives you all kinds of different reports you can run. You can do categorized reports, inquiry reports. I'm more interested in the dates inquiry reports, and we're going to drop down and make that the 21st, which was yesterday. And no bills passed out of the Senate. If you click on that, you'll see that there's no information there. But it was where the House, they had a lot of action. So bills passed the House, then you go over and check your tab, and you've got a total of 41 bills that passed the House. All right, so they total that up for you all the way at the bottom of the page there. But looking at some of the things, at least that as somebody who gleans this stuff quickly, I look for where there wasn't unanimous support, right? Because, hey, telling stories, you look at where there's conflict. So, for instance, right off the bat, pronoun references. Lakeisha Collins had a bill that passed 72 to 37, House Bill 1596. If you click through and find that, the synopsis, it looks like it changes a bunch of different state statutes. And that's a lot of state statutes. My gosh. Essentially, I guess what this does is it goes through and it works towards degendering things. So it amends various acts concerning children by replacing certain pronouns with the nouns to which the pronouns refer, replacing certain instances of the word biological, changing the independent juvenile ombudsman to the independent juvenile ombudsperson, deleting certain obsolete language, and making technical changes. There was a amendment that changes boys and girls to children rather than minors in one location. So again, that passed, but it was apparently controversial enough to where it was 72 to 37. You then look through, and another bill that was controversial, 72 to 39. Another bill dealing with gender-inclusive data reports. So interesting to see those bills ultimately advancing. Then you've got other bills. One here, EPA disposable food containers. This one passed, and that deals with getting rid of single-use plastics, essentially. It amends the EPA Act, and it defines terms, provides that beginning January 1st of 2025, a retail establishment may not sell or distribute in the state a disposable food service container that is composed in part of polystyrene foam, which is styrofoam. So yeah, you've got that passing the House. Now, this is just passage in the House. These things still have to go over to the Senate, be heard in committee, have another bite at the apple. The Senate takes it up, or they could choose not to take it up, and then the bill just stays flat for a while. But we're still early in this session, and there's a lot more things to be had. But looking again at just the 40-plus bills, another bill that they had that was controversial deals with higher ed human service loan repayments. You've got another one here, and I'm just gleaning this for the first time, so I apologize. Pregnancy Expenses Act. We were just talking about the abortion issue. And this bill, it looks to essentially allow for a split 50% for the pregnant person and the other person in the relationship there to cover the costs for the pregnancy, and that could include abortion as well. An interesting debate there on the House floor yesterday on that bill. Also, you've got a bill dealing with a suburban airport and plans to have IDOT lay out those plans and take some bids. So that passed 72-40 as well. So again, you can see just some of the things they're doing. 40-plus bills passed the House bills that are now queued up to be sent to the Senate. But also at the State House, they had a discussion about parole. We'll talk about that next here on WMAY. It is Springfield's Morning. Reviewing some of the stuff happening yesterday at the Illinois State House. Sometimes it's not just about what passes one chamber or the other. It's also about what's being proposed, and a proposal yesterday deals with modifying bail. And this is a proposal coming from members of the Legislative Black Caucus that would allow individuals in Illinois prisons to earn parole regardless of the crime. State Representative Justin Slaughter and State Representative Carol Ammons proposed this yesterday. And here is Justin Slaughter talking a bit about what his proposal does.
Illinois' prison population is an increasing percentage of persons who are growing old with no opportunity for early release, no matter how rehabilitated they are.
And then you have State Representative Carol Ammons having a separate bill that she says would actually bring about all kinds of different types of savings for the state's taxpayers by allowing for certain conditional release and allowing for, again, certain types of things to have people get out.
It saves money. It looks at people based on their merit and what they have done while they were incarcerated. It gives them an opportunity to have some hope.
So that is, of course, two members of the Legislative Black Caucus looking to change parole. I talked briefly with State Senator Jason Plummer, who had some initial questions about the effectiveness of this when it comes to safety in Illinois communities.
Yeah, actually, we've made a lot of progress here. I think that we've been able to highlight the ludicrous decisions that the administration has made the last few years, and they're starting to recognize, I think, the errors in their ways. This isn't about a simple decision. This is a complex set of facts, and the reality is we need to prioritize victims' families, law enforcement, and most importantly, public safety. Because at the end of the day, we're here to make sure the public is safe. And the governor's been making decisions that have made the public less safe.
So when it comes to the ideas, though, of possibly saving money by letting people out early, Plummer says that, listen, he's conservative, he's about saving money, but it's about safety, really.
Absolutely. We should be about saving money, but I don't think dollars are more important than people's lives. I think that we have to make sure that we protect our communities. And I think that it's a very elementary mathematics to say that this saves money when we know that the people that are being released often end up committing more crimes, end up back in the judicial system, and end up back behind bars. So I don't think it's a matter of saving money. This is a matter of trying to do an end run around law enforcement. And what we need to do is we need to stand up for our families and communities.
And Plummer was also critical of just the overall idea of people getting out for any crime, just simply based on good time they've served, while you've got the Safety Act still being debated in front of the Illinois Supreme Court and cashless bail. All of these things, of course, being debated at the Illinois State House. It's now 7 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI